thank you for taking your time to be guest on this podcast here, but of course also to invite me to Mathis. We're sitting here right on the shop floor in Switzerland, in Oberhasli, and I'm excited to have gotten all the insights, but I would now like to dive deeper into what competence you have to deliver by exploring all the different products and services that Mathis delivers. But before we jump into today's discussion, Clemens, we had a previous podcast, right, last
we
year,
did.
in the first round of the battery expedition. So, and there I asked you the question, how did you enter the field of batteries? So this is referred to now to the people who are interested to look into the last episode. And now we want to ask Nikolas, how did you find into the field of batteries?
So,
And what is your role at Mathis, of course?
yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks for having me. So first, I'm Nikolas. I'm project manager for Mathis, mainly for the battery industry. We also do some other industry. We'll dive into that later. So how did I get into batteries? I was studying mechanical engineering in Germany, in Braunschweig. And I've heard a lecture from Professor Arno Quade, which is probably a familiar name.
Sure.
About the whole process chain of cell manufacturing. And before that, I thought, the battery just gets produced on one machine, and then I've seen, it's like 20 different steps. That's pretty interesting, and each one has to be perfect in order to get the cell we all want. So then I contacted him, got a job there next to when I was studying, and started to do some coating trials, exploration around cathode optimization, drying, and that's how I got into batteries.
Cool. So you spent your time in Braunschweig, and then at some point Mathis came on the stage, right?
Exactly.
So how did you acquire him, or?
Well, I think it was a combination of a couple of good contacts we had from contacts to Theo Braunschweig, and then I think one hand gave the other.
Yeah. So I was looking for a master thesis, wanted to do it in the industry somewhere, not at the university.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my first call would have been to PowerCo or Volkswagen at the time, but luckily for me, that didn't work out. So I ended up here, which I'm very happy about.
Very cool. So maybe you can elaborate in a couple of words what your current role at Mathis is and what innovation you support.
Yes. So I'm leading our larger projects for the battery industry, mostly coating lines at the moment, some calendering lines as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some pilot scale, some even a bit bigger. Can't go into too much detail on those, but I'm the main project leader for those, and I organize all the different departments in our company and also the many external companies we have to work together with on those projects.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, question to both of you. What is the key innovation that Mathis provides at the moment? So we are in the dynamic field of battery innovation, right? And things are evolving. What would you name?
I think I would say the flexibility we have, the listening to the process, understanding the process, and therefore adopting our machine to the process.
Mm-hmm. So how does that materialize? So that is kind of the underlying values, so to speak, or the underlying competence. But what does it look like on the technical end? I think this is Nikolas, where your competence comes into play.
So where most companies would just try to sell the customer their product, which they develop to perfection and known for many years. Most of the times for us, it's the other way around. The customer comes to us with a problem, and then we just start with a blank page and pretty much manufacture and develop the machine for them. On some projects, we even did that with other companies, like really 50-50, two companies working together for the first time, developing one machine for a special application, which maybe can't be satisfied by standard machinery on the market.
Okay. In technical terms, what is the product portfolio that you're delivering? So you're known for coating lines on the pilot scale, but I think your product portfolio goes a little bit beyond that. Maybe you can just explain a little bit of what is there.
Yeah, so if we start with the coating machines, at the very bottom is like a just a simple roll-to-roll coater. We even do it with just 1 meter of drying length. So it's
Okay.
you can basically fit it in the car here. So it's a small machine which is still capable of doing knife coating, slot die coating, different drying methods, different speeds, different webs. Pretty much can do the same as the big machines as well. Then we go into the machines a little bit more, I would say, between R&D and pilot scale, maybe a couple of meters drying length, 2, 3, 4 meters. Some more advanced sensors and tools in the machine, but we also do 10 plus meters. Basically, for our bigger lines, it's very modular, so we can pretty much do up to big pilot scale, I would say.
Up to which coating width?
At the moment, we can do 800 mil roller width, so that could lead to about 760 mil maximum, but we're also working on bigger lines. We've done bigger lines for other fields, so that's not a blocker for us if that's necessary.
The biggest we did is 1 meter coating width. Okay, and drying lengths we are flexible.
Okay.
It also depends on the product. It depends a little bit on the customer. And if you have a good working relationship with customers, then you're more comfortable in doing a larger machine which has very high demands on certain things.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe just to finish it up, for calendaring machines is basically the same. We start with like a small lab calendar, which you can also use in glove box. We have many applications where we put them in inert atmosphere under nitrogen or argon gases. And then our biggest one at the moment is 100 tons at 350 mil of roller width. So even for up-to-date solid-state batteries, it provides enough line force to do those. And then we can build the whole infrastructure of winding, measuring systems around that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm on the battery expedition to understand our ecosystem and also support the build of our ecosystem and understanding those dynamics. From your perspective, what do you see at the moment? So what are the points that our industry is really craving for in Europe? I'm asking this because you have the key competence on solving this crucial puzzle piece on coding, right? And you're doing that not on the big scale, on the giga scale, but you have the competence which could support this. So I would like to understand, how is your perspective on this, potentially helping the industrialization and scale up with your in-house competence that you have?
Well, first of all, we need to understand the whole process. And the process is not just coating and drying. The process starts with the powder. How do you get a powder? How do you store the powder when the bag is open? How do you mix it? How long do you mix it? How good you mix it? You then coat, you dry, you calendar, and so on. So it's the whole journey which is needed to understood from the customer. Our part is basically only the coating and drying and calendaring, but we only can code as good as the slurry is. So working together with the customer, understanding how they mix, and maybe inviting the experts from the mixing company or inviting experts from the coating tool, the supplier. That is some key factor which is needed to drive the innovations further here in Europe and work together and get things moving.
Yeah. Are there any specific partnerships that you would like to mention that exemplify this collaborative approach on merging the, let's say, mixing competence with the coating competence, on really bridging those gaps that we still have at the moment?
Well, we have very, very good contact to Bühler in Switzerland, but also to Eirich in Germany. We have very good contact, as you have seen today, with TSE Troller from Switzerland for the slot die.
Yes.
And we have different code weight devices installed on our machines. If it's X-ray or ultrasonic, it's open, or it can be also beta gauges. Again, working with the right people, with the right understanding, with the right knowledge, it's going to help the journey to improve in Europe. And I think the key word is together, as being spread around in the industry now since a couple of months. Together, we need to do it together. And if you have one little issue on whatever, don't have half a person there. Throw more persons on to get it fixed. At the same, if you have a coating issue or mixing issue, put more people on. We have the people, or we have to train the people. And if they see the issue, even if they're not trained, but they see the issue with their eyes, they may understand, and then they may can give a feedback into it to see that that little thing, which can have a big impact later on at coating or coloring, sorting it in the beginning at the mixing or the powder itself, going to help a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to also showcase this collaboration that you're pushing forward and that you're actively trying to establish, and to picture how this can prove as a role model for others to adapt, like this bridging the gap, this open collaboration. I think this is really what you're known for, right? You're going to the customer, understanding it, but also then getting the partners in, and realizing quite big projects with this, since you are still no, you're not a corporate, right?
Yeah.
So
We're a family business, and I
Yeah.
think we're going to stay family
Yes.
business. I think this is the main goal from the two owners of Bayard, Mathis and Robbie Wirtz.
I also think that's a big strength for us. Like many big players have learned the hard way that it's maybe not good to get all the machines from overseas.
Yeah.
And now are focusing more on the good relationships we have with them from smaller projects maybe that they did before. So now they're actually coming back to us, asking for help, asking for machines which are, like you said, pretty big size for us, but they know together with us, to working closely with us after shipping the machines, it's going to work out.
Okay. So I think that is kind of a good segue over to take a step back and see where's our industry at the moment. So I asked 3 key questions to all participants of this format to really understand how we can make this one team, one ecosystem. And you just mentioned that you have the potential also to consult and to advise people in our business who are trying to scale this right now, but also struggling with this. So that is the technical point. But as I said, stepping a little bit back, what are the challenges for Europe that you see, if you should put it in bullet points at the moment?
Production knowledge, the ability to operate the large scale processes.
You mean on the operative level, like shop floor knowledge?
No, I think it's before that. Both.
Okay.
That as well, but also before all the planning. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to be planned realistically. There's gonna be scrap, things are gonna get wrong, it's gonna cost money, but that's the way to get to the stage where it's gonna work.
Okay, gotcha.
And to run in let's say a mega line or a big pilot line, it takes time, as you said. Time, money, and there needs to be patient as well from the customer and from the customer, that those things need to be run in correctly, because if you don't run it in correctly, you're not getting the result, and the result is a perfect performing battery.
Yes, understand you. Let's frame this positively. If you would look at, and I think this conversation that we have, this invitation, is kind of a symbol also for that, for this openness and potential that is there, that there are positive steps that we can take. So from your perspective, looking at Europe and all our partners in this ecosystem, what gives you hope?
I think there's a lot of small, medium-sized, good companies. There's a lot of individual knowledge in all the research facilities. And I think if we can get everything working together, which there are some formats like BLB Plus starting right now, which have the goal to achieve those connections like you're doing as well. So I'm hopeful, if we continue in this trend, that we can bundle up all the expertise and get to the bigger goal together.
Okay.
And I think we need to make it more interesting for young people that, yes, a battery is a battery. No, it's not like a battery is a battery. How do you manufacture a battery? We need to make it more interesting to young people when they do their apprenticeship. Give them the carrot and making sure, yes, the carrot is good. And we need the young people to support the growing market in Europe on the battery side.
Yeah, there needs to be more identity with this technical puzzle piece, which is called battery, and the beauty of it, because it solves the supply and demand side of energy as such. And So what is your call to action then? If we should get one step further, and you would give one advice for industry to all stakeholders out there, to all decision makers, what would it be?
Well, on the people side, invest in people, invest in young people. I know the IWF in Braunschweig, they have now opened their training center. This is one part. And I think those centers need to be European-wide. And I think a couple of them are already existing. But it needs to be more put into the media with a little bit of oomph, making the soup tasty for the young guys and young girls.
Yeah, gotcha.
Also, they're like maybe look less strict at things like IP or company knowledge, because at the end we're all working in the same industry. If the industry goes down, everyone will suffer. So maybe it's good here or there to throw over some company rules in order to get the things moving.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
This is referring to my first interview, Nikolas, where I said, well, not 50 soups, just one soup.
Yes.
Yeah, and I kind of took this over for all the presentations I'm giving right now, also the upcoming keynote at the Future Battery Forum. One team, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we take this with us as on a mission, on a joint mission. And yeah, with that, I thank you, Clemens. Thank you, Nikolas, for the conversation.
Great to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming over.